BoxingVoice.com live with trainer Mr. Cunningham. Kevin Cunningham, you have firsthand experience with Lucas Matthysse. Devon Alexander, Lucas Matthysse put on a great fight. A lot of body punching went on in that fight. A lot of big shots from both guys. What could we expect versus a Lamont Peterson? This is another guy that you know closely. You know the DC and the Cincinnati area very closely, and all those up-and-coming fighters. What do you think Lamont brings into this fight that's going to make him the winner on Saturday night?
Well, I think Lamont has more tools in his toolbox than Matthysse has in his toolbox. So, I mean, Lamont can, fight, bang on the inside with you if that's what it's called for. Lamont can step out, box, use his skills. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a tough fight, but I think Lamont's going to come out the winner. And I think he's the more talented of the two.
Now, in Devon versus Lucas Matthysse, you guys had good success with the jab and negating Lucas Matthysse's power. Even though he scored a knockdown, Devon did a good job negating that power. There wasn't a lot of big blows until later in the fight when Devon kind of slowed down a little bit. But do you think that because of Lamont Peterson's style, where he's not come forward, but he's in your chest, is that going to nullify the power of Matthysse, being as though that the punches would be smothered?
Yeah, I mean, it could. I mean, and if Lamont's going to be in that range and he's working, and then Lamont's got good defense, I don't see any problem with him being in that range and fighting in that range, inside in close quarters. But, we got to remember, too, when Devon fought Matthysse, that was Devon's last fight at 140 pounds, and it was a reason that was his last fight, because he killed himself to make the weight. So, when you saw Devon fight Matthysse, you didn't see a Devon Alexander at 100%. So,
And he was still able to put on a good fight. So, if a Devon not at 100, a Lamont at 100, you're saying it would be easier for Lamont.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it's going to be easy nothing, because ain't nothing about that fight is going to be easy. But I've got Lamont winning that fight, and I think he's the better all-around fighter of the two.
As a trainer, do your eyes tell you that Victor Ortiz is the bigger puncher, or is Lucas Matthysse the bigger puncher? Because Lamont will be facing Matthysse Saturday, but he's already faced a bigger, stronger guy, in my opinion, in Victor Ortiz. And he had great success. I mean, he came off the canvas twice in that fight to win a draw where some arguably had Lamont himself up by 1 round. He landed some big left hooks on on Ortiz that stopped him from coming forward in his aggressive style and turned Ortiz into a boxer basically before our eyes. Could we see that happen in the Matthysse fight? And who do you think is the bigger puncher of the two?
I think Lucas Matthysse is definitely a bigger puncher than Victor Ortiz. Victor Ortiz is the bigger guy. Physically, he's bigger, but Lucas Matthysse is a natural-born puncher. So he's the harder puncher of those two.
How could you assess that? Give our listeners a little, I guess, schooling here. How would one know, when comparing two fighters, who's naturally the bigger puncher and who's worked on the power? Just how did you come to that conclusion?
Well, punchers are not made, they're born. And like I said, Victor Ortiz is naturally a bigger guy, but Matthysse has the better snap and the natural power in his punches.
All right, well, thank you very much.